Thank you for joining me for this class. I was thinking a lot today about how I want to proceed and what kind of classes I want to do, and I was thinking about our teachers. And I've been thinking about our teachers a lot because I've been my son's teacher now since we've been out of school, and I definitely think it's the hardest job in the world. And our teachers are working tirelessly to continue to educate our children, to challenge them, to make this time feel safe for them. And I just kind of want to dedicate this class to all of you teachers, and maybe even give you an opportunity here, keeping you in mind, maybe daily you'd like to do this practice. I'm going to try to do just a well-rounded Hatha class here, and maybe it will allow you to get on your mat once a day. I'm going to aim between 30 and 45 minutes. Don't really know how it's going to turn out because I know sometimes, especially when we're home with our families, we don't always necessarily have that hour. So let's see how this turns out. And again, please be patient with me, especially with me trying to figure out how to do things on camera and teach you while also doing the practice. Again, it feels a little awkward. So just bear with me and have fun with it. If you are new to the mat, that's okay. I always try to give modifications. Definitely have all your props handy, whether those are yoga props like blocks, a strap, a bolster, blankets, maybe an eye pillow. And if you don't have those things, that's okay also. You can maybe, if you find that you like doing these classes, maybe order something online. But I will try to, as we move forward, use as few props as possible, recognizing that everyone is at home currently and not able to necessarily utilize, obviously, what we can use in this space. So with that being said, we're going to change it up. We're going to start in Sukhasana today. So find your comfortable, easy seat. If cross-legged is not comfortable for you, please feel free to extend the legs here. You can extend the legs, you can bend the knees. If even having one leg close in and the other knee toward the chest is comfortable for you, that's okay. I just want you to be able to have a neutral pelvis here and a lengthened spine. So I always, for most of my students, recommend sitting up on something. I'm sitting up on a meditation pillow, but you can sit on a blanket or two. You can sit on a block. You can even drape a blanket over the block. You can even sit on a bolster. I know a lot of times when my hips are really tight, I sit on a bolster and I bring blocks under my knees, and that seems to help. So the important thing here is that we feel rooted through the sitting bones. We want a lengthened spine, so slightly engage the core, continue to lift the ribs, and feel that length from the tailbone to the crown of the head. Rest the hands anywhere that is comfortable. A lot of you know I like Jnana Mudra, touching my index fingers to my thumbs. It helps to increase focus and concentration. But it doesn't matter, you can have the hands in the lap. Just find a comfortable position. Find that fine line here between effort and ease. Give yourself the opportunity to find comfort here, because we'll be here through meditation for several minutes. Maybe softly close the eyes. If that's not comfortable, you can gaze down at the tip of the nose. And just start to settle in. Allow the mind to settle here, the body Feel the spirit within. Allow yourself here to absorb the energy in the room. Energetically feel the connectedness we have with one another. And for a moment, just think about what brought you to your mat today. And maybe use this answer as your intention for your practice. And most of you already know an intention can be whatever you need it to be. Maybe it's a prayer, a meditative mantra, something positive you repeat to yourself. Maybe it's a person you'd like to dedicate your practice to. Find that intention. Start to meditate on that intention. Allow yourself to be present here and mindful. Give yourself permission to take this time. And as you go through your practice, continue to maybe meditate on what you'll take with you when you leave. As you practice yoga off the mat. Begin to observe the mental body in its fullness. Start to notice what's happening in the headspace. Allow it to be present. Release attachment and judgment of whatever's happening in the headspace. Just let it be. And when you're ready, maybe let it go. Let it float away. Swaha, let it go. And as you do this, remember to love you, love your practice, love your practice for what it was yesterday, for what it will be tomorrow, but most importantly, love your practice for what it is today, what it's showing you, giving you, and teaching you right here in this moment. You always have your practice. And start to observe the physical body, releasing and softening wherever you feel tension. And maybe if there are areas that are feeling a little bit more chatty, start to send the breath there. Again, use the breath, use the intention to control the mind and to control whatever's going on in the body, or at least the mind's response to what's happening in the body. And as you scan the body, continuing to release and soften, letting go of any tension, begin to understand how to listen to the body. The body knows what it's doing, and the body speaks to you. So as you go about your practice, listen to the body. Begin now doing that. And know that this is your practice. I am only here to guide you through your practice. And start to notice the breath. Start to feel the breath flowing into the body. Feel the breath leave the body. Don't change the breath, just feel it. Feel the rise and the fall, the belly, the rib cage, and the chest. With the belly, or with the breath, excuse me. And when you're ready, slowly and gently start to deepen the breath, doing this in whatever way feels good for you in this moment. Maybe today begin by counting the inhalations and the exhalations. Maybe doubling the length of the exhalation. So maybe you inhale to a count of 4 or 5, and exhale to a count of 8 or 10. And see how that feels. And continue for several rounds. And notice here, maybe a slight shift in the mind. Maybe the body settles a little bit more, continuing to release and soften wherever there is tension. As you count your inhalations and your exhalations, imagine energetically breathing in all that is good. And breathing out everything that we need to let go of, anything that doesn't serve us, especially during these very stressful, scary times. Breathe in positivity and light and goodness. And breathe out the negativity, the fear, the anxiety. As you breathe in, think of your friends and family, those you miss. Again, as you breathe out, let go of the control, the fear, the judgment, the expectations. And when you're ready, you can flicker the eyes open, bring the hands down by the side. Inhale to reach and extend the arms overhead. Maybe the gaze follows here. Exhale, bring the hands to heart center. We'll do this 2 more times. Inhale, reach. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Inhale, reach. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Bring the right hand down to the mat. Inhale to reach the left up to the ceiling and begin to bend into that right side body. If you want a little bit more, maybe you gaze toward the ceiling. Try to keep both sitting bones firmly planted here. Inhale to reach. Exhale, lower the left hand down, bend into the left body. Inhale to reach both arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Pause here for a moment. Feel the breath. I'm sure you all can hear the background noise, so we'll just, again, be patient, and I apologize. Go ahead and lower the right hand behind the bum. Bring the left hand to the right knee. Inhale to lengthen here, and on the exhale, start to twist from the midsection, bringing the gaze over that right shoulder. Inhale, lengthen just a little bit more. Exhale, twist just a little deeper. And pause here in this Sukhasana twist, this seated twist. Maybe close the eyes. And on your next inhale, bring the head back through center before slowly untwisting. Bring that left hand behind the bum. Right hand goes to the left knee. Inhale to lengthen here. And on the exhale, begin to twist again from the midsection. Bring that gaze over the left shoulder. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to twist a little deeper. Pause here, maybe close the eyes. On your next inhale, bring the head back through center before slowly untwisting. Bring the hands out wide, press the palms behind you, and then bring that left arm across the chest, hold with the opposite hand. Maybe the gaze goes over the left shoulder, maybe not. Just find the pose that works for you here. Every body is different. So if we were all in class together right now, all of our poses would look different. And if the head is turned, bring it back to center. Open the arms wide again. Push the palms toward the back of whatever room you're in. And then bring the right arm across the chest, holding it with the left hand. Again, maybe the gaze turns over the right shoulder here. If the head is turned, bring it back to center. Open the arms wide one more time. And then bring the palms together at heart center. Pause here. And I'm going to come off my little pillow and set it aside. Keeping the legs crossed. Bring the hands behind the bum with the fingers facing the bum. And on the inhale, lift the hips up toward the ceiling. Maybe the gaze follows. Maybe the gaze goes behind you. And on the exhale, lower down. We'll do this 2 more times. Inhale to lift. Exhale, lower down. 1 more time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower down. We'll go ahead and come on to all fours. Setting up in tabletop. Hands are under shoulders here, knees under hips. You can tuck the toes, you can lay the tops of the feet flat on the mat. Start to engage the core, lift the ribs up toward the ceiling. As we move through some cat and cows. So on the inhale, keeping the core tight, gently lower the belly, lift the tailbone, chest, and chin. On the exhale, round the spine, draw the belly button in toward the spine, lower the head. Inhale, lower the belly, lift the tailbone, chest, and chin. Draw that chest forward. Exhale, draw the belly button in. Relax the head. Inhale to happy cow. Exhale to angry cat. Inhale, happy cow, Marjariasana. Exhale, angry cat, Vitalasana. Inhale, 1 more time, happy cow. Exhale, angry cat. Keep the back arched here. Continue to absorb the core. Tuck the toes and slightly lift the knees here off the mat, hovering about 1 inch or 2 off the mat. Continue to breathe. And lower the knees. We'll set up for bird dog here. Go ahead and send the left leg far back. Keep those hips square. Feel the stretch through the back leg. And then lift the leg when you're ready. Maybe you stay here. Maybe the right hand comes to the heart. Maybe you reach it straight out into bird dog. Keep squeezing the core, lifting the ribs here. Take another breath in, and on the exhale, lower the hand, cross that left leg over the right, and bend into the right side body here. Maybe gaze at those left toes. On your next inhale, come back to tabletop. We'll switch sides, send the right leg far back. Feel the stretch through the back of the leg, and then lift that leg when you're ready. Squaring off the hips, engage through the core. Maybe you stay here, maybe you bring the left hand to your heart, or reach it out into bird dog. Try to keep the gaze down to protect the cervical spine here. And remember to square off the hips, imagining a tray here on the lower back. Take another breath in. And on the exhale, lower the hand. Cross that right foot over the left and bend into the left side body, gazing toward the toes. And come back to tabletop. Pause for a moment. Send the left leg back and then the right to meet the left, coming into Phalakasana, plank pose. Pause here. And go ahead and lower the knees. Widen the knees. Bring the toes to touch if that's available. And sink the hips back to child's pose. You can rest the head on the mat. Hands can be extended forward. Hands can be behind you. Just find the pose that works for you. Inhale to lift the gaze, walk the hands over to the right, bring the right hand back toward the feet, and press the right hand into the floor as you reach and extend the left arm a little further. Relax the head and neck down to the mat. Again, continue to press. Get the leverage with the right hand as you twist a little deeper. Inhale to lift the gaze, bring the hands to touch and walk the hands over to the left, bringing the left hand back by the legs and bend into the left body. On your next inhale, bring the hands to meet. Come back into child's pose, but maybe this time bring the hands and arms back, resting the head on the mat. Excuse the technical difficulties. I wore the wrong shirt for this. And bring the hands forward. Come into tabletop once more. Send the left foot back and then the right to meet it in plank pose. Maybe you modify by lowering the knees. Maybe shift forward, keeping the elbows in, lower all the way down to the belly. Set the hands up just under the shoulders. Gaze is going to stay slightly forward and down. The feet are at least hips width distance here, but they can always be wider to support the lower back. Press all 10 toes firmly into the mat. And on the inhale, lift up into low cobra, bhujangasana. Stay light on the hands. Maybe come up onto the fingertips. And breathe here. And lower everything down to the mat. Rest for a moment. Inhale once more, coming into low cobra. And lower the head down to the mat. We'll do one more cobra. If you'd like to move into high cobra or upward facing dog, you can do that by bringing the hands back by the ribs. Holding low cobra is a little bit more challenging. So find the placement of the hands. And on the inhale, lift up either into low cobra, high cobra, or upward facing dog. If you're in upward facing dog, the knees are lifted off the mat here. Keep the heels in line with the hip bones and breathe. Don't hold the breath. Take another breath in, and on the exhale, keep the elbows in, lower all the way down to the mat. Stack the hands, rest the forehead on the stacked hands in crocodile. And then lift the head, bring the hands, palms down on the mat, next to the hips. Rest the forehead on the mat. And on the inhale, keeping the feet and hands firmly planted, lift the upper body off the mat. Take another breath in. And on the exhale, lower the head to the mat. On this next inhale, lift the feet off the mat, press into the mat with the hands. Keep the forehead down, so you're just lifting the lower body here. And lower down on your next exhale. If it's available, go ahead and clasp the hands behind the lower back. Draw the elbows toward one another. Straighten the arms and lift the feet, the head, the entire body off the mat here. Keep that gaze slightly forward and down. Take another breath in. And on the exhale, lower everything down to the mat. Maybe come into crocodile, stacking the hands and the head. And go ahead and bring the hands under the shoulders. Tuck the toes. Maybe you move through a modified plank by keeping the knees on the mat. Maybe you shoot straight up to Phalakasana, plank pose. So however you'd like to get there, find your plank. And then come into a side plank on the left side. You can always modify side plank by lowering the left knee. You can keep the right foot down. You can lift the right foot so that it's hip height. So just find your side plank. The left hand is slightly in front of the shoulder here. Take a breath in, and on the exhale, come back to plank pose. Stay here. I'm going to switch sides. And then move into your plank on the left side. Again, you can modify, keeping that left foot down. Maybe it lifts. Just find your plank pose. And then come back to plank. Maybe you modify by lowering the knees first, or you just come down to a forearm plank. You can clasp the hands here. You can make number 11 with your arms. And begin to walk the feet toward the hands. Coming into dolphin pose. And walk the feet back out to forearm plank. You can modify or just come up to a plank pose. And then shift the hips high to downward dog when you're ready. So I'm going to come out of the pose so that I can talk you through it. In downward dog, in this inverted V position, you really want to focus on pressing the index fingers and the thumbs into the mat. Externally rotate the shoulders, drawing the shoulders away from the ears. Really relax the head and neck. Let everything go as you continue to lengthen the spine. We're always working to push that belly toward the tops of the thighs. And if you need to, you can always bend the knees. If you feel like that helps to lengthen the spine, continue to squeeze the belly button toward the spine. And your heels here might never touch the mat. You can always take a wide downward dog by bringing the hands and the feet to the outer edges of the mat. Bend the knees generously here and start to walk the hands back toward the feet. Coming into Uttanasana, standing forward fold. You can see I have my knees generously bent here. You can have the feet as wide as they need to be. Maybe the legs are straight. Again, relax the head and neck. Let everything go. Shake the head yes, shake the head no. Bring the hands anywhere on the legs that is comfortable to lengthen the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, fold. One more time. Inhale to lengthen, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway rise. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Bring the hands behind the back, clasp. Draw the elbows toward one another and straighten the arms as you rinse the arms overhead. If this isn't comfortable, you can bring the hands to the lower back or just come back down to the mat. And wherever you are, lower the hands down. Begin to walk them back out into plank. Lower the bum. And find that side plank once more on the right side. Maybe the gaze goes toward the ceiling this time. And bring the hand back down to plank. You stay here. I'm going to switch sides. Come into plank on the left side. Maybe the gaze goes toward the ceiling. And lower the right hand to plank. Again, maybe you modify here. Maybe you roll forward and then lower all the way down to the belly. Pausing for a moment. And let's go ahead and flip over onto our backs. Setting up for bridge pose, Setu Bandha Sarvangasana. Bring the feet hips width distance, just past the bum here. The hands can be down at your side. Inhale to lengthen the spine and flatten the back. And on the exhale, lift the buttocks, hips, and pelvis toward the ceiling. Maybe the hands stay where they are. Maybe you clasp them underneath the lower back, rolling up onto the shoulder heads. Try to keep the knees from falling wide. Imagine that yoga block between the knees here. Take another breath in. And on the exhale, if the hands are clasped, release the hands. Maybe bring the soles of the feet to touch. Allow the knees to go wide in Supta Baddha Konasana. Maybe bring one hand to the heart, one hand to the belly. Think of something you're grateful for. And feel the breath. Allow the body to settle. And release the hands. We'll set up for one more bridge. Inhale to lengthen the spine here and flatten the back. And on the exhale, lift everything up as one unit, coming into bridge pose. Find a comfortable place for the hands. Maybe you like to make Robot arms by bringing the elbows to the mat close to the body and extend the fingertips toward the ceiling. Continue to squeeze through the entire lower body, the glutes, the hamstrings, the core. Keep the knees from falling wide. And maybe imagine energetically drawing those heels toward the pelvis here. And see how that changes the sensation in the pose. Take another breath in. And on the exhale, lower everything down as one unit. This time, let's neutralize the spine by coming into constructive rest. Bring the feet to the outer edge of the mat and allow the knees to fall in toward one another. Maybe close the eyes. Think of your intention here. And find the breath. And if you're near a wall, you can scooch over to the wall, bringing the hip close to the wall and come up into Viparita Karani, legs up the wall. If you have a pillow or a block handy, you can lift up, place that under the lower back, and then extend the legs overhead. Just find your pose. Legs up the invisible wall. You can move here if that feels good. Maybe you point and flex the feet. Maybe you scissor the legs. Maybe you find Supta Balasana here. Maybe you grab the feet for Ananda Balasana. Maybe you grab the big toes and extend the legs straight. And then when you've had enough, you can straighten the legs back up toward the ceiling and find some stillness. Allow the body to settle. Feel the benefits of this beautiful pose. My students know I always say, if you're going to do 2 poses every day, do Viparita Karani, legs up the invisible wall, and downward dog. These inversions majorly help every system, every organ in the body. And if you're going to do it, hold it for 3 minutes or more so that the blood can recirculate back through the entire body. Maybe you pause the video here and hold it longer. That's totally fine. I'm going to start to lower the legs, coming into more of a restorative or supported fish pose, if that feels good. You can always keep the knees bent here. I like extending mine. It increases the back bend just a little bit more. I know that I'm moving my head around a lot because I feel like I have to continue looking at the computer or the camera, but when you're in these positions on your back and the neck is kind of compromised, you really want to keep the gaze straight up at the ceiling. And it's always nice to close the eyes, allow the body to settle. And then maybe you stay here, maybe you stay in Viparita Karani. I'm going to come out of the pose, so that I can set up for our meditation. If at this time you'd like to move into Shavasana, corpse pose, you can. By laying down on the mat, extending the arms and the hands wide, the feet, the legs wide. Just find your comfortable corpse pose, Shavasana. Maybe you bring in a bolster under the legs, a blanket over the pelvis, maybe a blanket under the head. If you have an eye pillow at home, that's nice. And start to settle in here. And because you're doing this in the comfort of your own home, you can always pause the video. You can do a 10 or a 15-minute Yoga Nidra, Shavasana, and then come back with me for the closing meditation. So wherever you are, start to settle in, find that mental body again. The physical body, observe the breath, feel the breath, find the intention. Think about what you'll take with you when you leave. And use that breath here to control the monkey mind. Keep that mind from wandering. And as you scan the body from the tippy toes to the crown of the head, continue to allow yourself to be present, absorbing the energy around you. Feel the connectedness. Allow yourself here to take several deep breaths as you continue to settle the physical body, releasing and softening any tension. Again, stay here as long as you need to, pausing the video. Maybe you roll onto your favorite side, resting the head in the crook of the elbow. As I read to you from my favorite book, my students love so much. Take a deep inhale, envisioning your breath flowing directly into your mind and heart. On your exhale, imagine any tension in your mind and heart floating away. By releasing this tension, you cultivate an openness that enables a connection between your mind, the center of your analytical intelligence, and your heart, the center of your emotional intelligence. On your next inhale, deepen the connection between these two powerful areas of yourself. On your next exhale, relax into the sweetness of this connection. Feel the rise and fall of your breath, creating the experience of connectivity between your analytical self and your emotional self, between your mind and your heart. When you're ready, you can come back up to Sukhasana, a comfortable, easy, restful seat. Bring the hands to heart center. Acknowledge you showed up on your mat. What will you take with you when you leave? Bring the hands to the center of the forehead in honor of mindful thought. to the lips in honor of mindful speech. And back down to heart center, always being mindful of love, kindness, compassion, and empathy for yourself first, and then for all others. May you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be safe, and may you live with ease. Let us bow to one another as we say, Namaste. Namaste, friends. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me. Thank you for being patient with me. I love you, teachers, for all that you do. Your jobs are so huge and oftentimes go unnoticed and thankless. So from me to you, from my heart to your heart, thank you for all that you do for our children. And I love you all. Take care of yourselves. Be safe. Namaste.